Hey, it's the Odd Man. On this trip, I went to Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is relatively close to my house, but I never seem to get up there, so I thought I'd go up and at least start to explore it. The plan for the run was pretty modest, about 3 miles round trip from that Longmire Museum and the Wilderness Information Center up to the campground and back. You can see, though, that it barely scratched the surface of exploring this area. This is in the park out at Mount Rainier National Park. It's clearly the wet side, moss everywhere. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving and the weather is awful. It's not as bad as it could be. It's 50 degrees, but it's raining, cloudy. There's not going to be any views to speak of. And I had to wait in line at the entrance. There's been quite a lot of traffic on the road. This is the Couts Creek day use area. You can see there's 5 cars in here. This is the other side of the road at Couts Creek. These poles are everywhere. They appear to be to find your way in the snow. This place gets lots of snow. One of my favorite observations about places like this are that they're hugely popular and there's lots of traffic and tons of people in here. But once you get a quarter mile off the beaten path out on the trails, there's hardly anybody there. So we'll see. It's just a run, but I'm traveling a little heavier than usual. Taking a headlamp because it's 2 o'clock and it gets dark pretty early. I shouldn't need it, but famous last words, you know. Water, snacks, my phone. I'm not taking my orange hat. No hunting allowed in the national park. Good deal, huh? So let's go. Not even a quarter mile into it. Come up this steep little hill. I have 2 choices. I can go left down the hill or further up this steep hill. And of course, my route lies up the steep road. You always know it's bad news when there's stairs. I'm not very far into the hike, but there's this cool overlook on the Nisqually. See, I walked this so you could get video. See what a nice, giving guy I am. This is an overlook on the Nisqually River. The Nisqually River dumps into Puget Sound down just north of Olympia. The Nisqually Delta is a huge wildlife and ecological preserve. This is quite pretty, but it's getting kind of dark even though it's only about 3:30. I tried to send a spot notification to my kids, but due to the rain and the cloud cover, apparently can't get a satellite signal. Okay, well, I made it to the campground. heading downstairs and out into the very bottom of the river valley. Ta-da! I hadn't really planned to come this far, and I thought this was the trail. Then it looked like it only went out to the river. I guess I coulda, shoulda read the sign. Oh well, time to go back. Okay, two things. First, as I'd predicted, there was not a soul on the trail, which is fun for me. The second thing is the weather's kind of crappy, right? It's 50 degrees, it's raining, so it could be worse. I mean, typical winter here is, 40 and raining. But I wanted to come out and really experience the ugliness, because in just a couple of days I'm leaving for Belize for 2 weeks. So I'm looking forward to the Belize trip, but you know me, I love these wet cold ones too, and the contrast makes it all the more fun. Well, this ended up being a pretty fun run. It rained pretty hard the entire time, and I wasn't completely prepared for that in terms of getting back to the car, because my shorts and my undies were soaked, so I'm kind of going commando now. Ended up being about 3.3 miles, and I felt really good. Of course, part of the deal was I spent a lot of time with the camera doing the video and that sort of thing, which always makes the run part easier, especially since I did most of it on the outward bound leg uphill. So I ran the downhill part back. Under the trees, it got a little dark, so I was a little worried about a trip and fall kind of thing, so there were a few places where I went slow, but basically it couldn't have gone any better. I had a great time. It's fun to see the national park. I need to get up here more often, and there's clearly a lot of hiking trails. So anyway, that was just the south entrance and one short run in Mount Rainier National Park. I love this stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching.
I'm going home. I'm going home. Been a long time now and I'm going home.
This is the Odd Man, out.